Right. So what about others? I can see number of participants joining, but I don't get a response. Are you all totally on silent mode? Or today we are going to discuss some of the questions with regard to the chapter 3 governance module. You might think now the sound should be okay. So nobody wants to respond. I can see some names: Pinsar, Prashant, Ashini, Krishni. So you all don't want to talk, is it? So game. That's how the game goes, is it? So no chatting.
No, no, sir.
So you all are totally from the sign language, is it? So can you hear myself?
No, not like that. Yes, sir, you can hear you, not like that.
Right. So it's not the case. So you would like to respond. So I'm happy to hear that. Right.
Yeah, sure.
If it is the case, let's discuss some questions. So how it goes is that, can you all see the presentation?
Yes.
Right. So the game goes as this, right? So my target is within this 2 hour or a little bit of 2 hours plus some time. I'm going to discuss 40 questions covering the entire governance module, right? So ESG, environmental sustainability and governance, is the hot topic today, right? So you all can talk and ask any questions and put any comments to the chat box, which I can discuss with you all, right? So I have taken this sample question to give all of you a flavor how we need to look at the model question, and with an analytical mind, how to get it through, right? Now, this is not the answer that I would like to pass at this point. Sample question is like this. According to IIA guidance, independence of internal audit activity is achieved through which of the following? Which of the following? Now you have 4 answers here, A, B, C, D. That will be the model. First one says staffing and supervision. Second one says continuing professional development and due professional care. Human relations and communications is the third point, whereas the fourth point is organizational status and objectivity. Now, when you recall the definition of internal audit, you will be able to gauge the answer to this question. Let's move forward, right? So answer would be organizational status and objectivity. So then you will be wondering why the other answers are not the answer, and also why this is the answer. So the best thing what we do here today is that we are going to discuss why the other answers A, B, C are not the answer and D is the answer. Okay, so I'm picking up certain points, and this is the digest of the answer explanation. So the first answer is incorrect because staffing and supervision relate to the professional proficiency of the internal audit activity. Second answer is incorrect. continuing professional development and due professional care relates to the professional proficiency of the internal auditor. Now, what will happen at the exam is that you are supposed to select the best suitable answer. Third point is also incorrect because human relations and communications relate to the professional proficiency of the internal auditor. Fourth one, being the answer D, is the correct one. According to practice advisory, specific number is given. Okay, let's forget about organizational status and objectivity permit members of the internal audit activity to render the impartial and unbiased judgments essential to the proper conduct of engagements. That's how the answer D becomes the correct answer. So let's begin the journey, but before that, I would like to share a particular video which will highlight you with the concepts that you have learned. We'll take about 10 to 15 minutes time to look at about 2 to 3 videos before we attack the questions. Can all of you see the screen? And please, somebody can speak. Huh? Okay. Oh.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Right. Thank you. This is a five-minute video which will highlight you this ESG is what we learned, actually environmental areas, CSR areas, sustainability areas. These are hot topics today. Right. So you all see do you all see the full screen? With sound? Am I correct? Right. So ESG is known for triple bottom line or people, planet, and profits concepts in the corporate jargon. Let's proceed. Did you all hear the sound of the video?
Yeah, very late. At the last
You all-
part.
So you all heard the sound. It's only music. What you need to find is only the English wordings appear on the screen. It only has a music. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Now, this is a very valid statement because the criteria of ESG, governance, sustainability, and environment criteria, helps investors avoid companies that might pose a greater financial risk due to their environmental or other practices. So that is why the auditor's assurance is expected in this corporate governance reporting, CSR reporting, and environmental reporting. Now, actually, with the next versions of the IIA syllabus, the terms will be specifically mentioned. But at this point, what you need to understand is governance and CSR and the environmental factors are also built in. The companies who adopt best practices of engaging auditor to look at the governance criteria and CSR criteria would be in a much more better position. And also the companies who reports these visibly with assurance endorsement from the internal auditors and external auditors both would be much more attractive in a market where these environmental factors, governance factors, sustainability factors are the buzzwords in the minds of the investors, because they are worried what will happen to the entities in the market. So if I dump my money, how reliable is this companies? So let's look at the rest of the video and take the dialogue forward with the questions. The statement appears on the screen is very valid today because many studies have suggested that companies with very strong practices on ESG or governance and corporate social responsibilities have a lower cost of capital and volatility in turbulent markets and turbulent economic conditions, or they are strong, right? I hope all of you will agree, right? Okay. Actually, in the long run, these companies are free of corruption and other things, and they are well recognized in the markets also, right? Right. I have some more videos as we go on. We'll see how best we can look at those. Let's come to the core. Right. So how the game will go is that I will put up these questions and you will tell me certain answers. However, I will be able to explain to you the correct answer as well. Can we within a minute put the answer? Internal audit activity most directly contributes to an organization's governance process by what? Doing what? Is it identifying significant exposures to risk? Evaluating the effectiveness of internal control over financial reporting? Promoting continuous improvement of controls? Evaluating the design of ethics-related activities. Now it has 4 answers. You need to select the best answer. Can you hear what I am trying to tell you? Do you need some time to select the correct answer?
Sir, can you share this screen? The presentation screen.
Is it visible now? Can you see the
Yeah,
screen
we
now?
can see it. Yeah, we can.
Should be okay, right? Okay. So question has 4 options. I have got 3 people have answered. Who else in the others don't want to answer, is it? Okay, we have another one person answering. Okay, so there are 1 or 2 who doesn't want to answer, and you have spent your money and you are attending the course to listen. Okay, that's your choice. The correct answer is D. It is the ethics related activities evaluation of the design. Other 3 may be audit activities, but here we are looking at specifically for the governance process. The question is very clear in relation to the governance process. So therefore, that is why other 3 options, even though those are certain activities that the auditor carries out, will not be the appropriate answer, most suitable answer at this point. I can see somebody's answering B. Roshan, are you okay with the explanation? Can I move forward?
Yes, sir, yes, I can, because it is ethics. Yeah, it's correct, sir. You can move forward, please.
Right, okay. Second question is, which of the following is not a goal of corporate governance? Not a goal of corporate governance. First answer, compliance with society's legal and regulatory rules, providing an overall benefit to society, reporting fully and truthfully to stakeholders, maximizing executive compensation. The key point here is not. I'm happy to see that the answers are coming. Yes. So maximizing executive compensation is not at all a corporate governance. Basically, if the wording would have been evaluating, it could be an acceptable answer. Not for this, could be acceptable provision for corporate governance, right? So I think those who have answered properly answered. Roshan, are we clear here? Complying is governance. You can't say it's not. So you misread the question.
Yeah.
So don't be hurry, but carefully answer. Right? Question number 3: the role of internal audit activity in the ethical culture of an organization is
Yes, sir.
assess its effectiveness in achieving legal compliance, avoid involvement in the ethical culture because of loss of objectivity, become a member of an ethics council, assume responsibility for the governance process. So how do you all interpret the answers? which one is the proper answer or the most acceptable answer. Here we can use an elimination mechanism. Under any circumstances, internal audit will not assume the responsibility for governance. Governance is the management responsibility always. So, becoming a member of an ethics council, avoid involvement in the ethical culture, assess its effectiveness in achieving legal compliance. So what is the answer? We are asking the role. Specifically what you need to do. So we have several answers. Let's see who else has answered. Yes, the proper answer is A. Okay. So there was an answer B from Nadisha. So you are expected to explain the role, not that you are totally prohibited of engaging in ethical culture. You have to engage as ethical culture professional. So A is the appropriate answer. Are we clear? Can I move to the next question? So altogether, everyone achieves. So that's the objective of this question, and that's the objective of the small picture also. Can I move forward? Can someone confirm that no questions from this area as of now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Right. Question 4 is about identifying a false state, which is not correct. Now here I have highlighted it. So, but in the exam, exact like questions, you will not be able to find this terminology. They might use what is not, what is inappropriate, or give you a scenario what is not. It's a negative answer that we are looking for. Which of the following is a false statement about the role of internal auditors in an organization's ethical culture? Roles may include chief ethics officer. The role of chief ethics officer sometimes conflicts with the independence of the internal audit activity. In a more mature system, the internal audit activity emphasizes compliance. In a more mature governance system, the internal audit activity's emphasis is on optimizing structure and practices. Let's see your answers. I can see everyone is answering various answers, right? So there are answers B, C, D. Somebody's answering D. Okay, from the people who selected D, can I ask why you all selected D as the false statement? False statement. Pinsara, would you like to speak? Princess, would you like to speak? Roshan?
Yes, so, yeah. It's I got the wrong idea. It is false statement, so it is no misunderstanding. My
Excellent.
mistake.
This is a correct statement, right? This is a
I
correct
hope
statement. This is a correct statement.
Will be B, I
The
guess.
appropriate answer for this is right. Compliance and internal audit are separated in any mature ones. So let's move forward with that understanding. The proper answer is 5. This compliance is a part of the audit game will become, right? Senior management is primarily responsible for what? I have given some indications with this picture if you carefully study. Implementing and monitoring controls designed by the board of directors, ensuring that external auditors oversee risk management and control processes, evaluating the controls over the reliability and integrity of financial and operational information, determining who will be risk owners. I can give you all 1 or 2 minutes to answer. But I want to cover all the 40 questions. I'm surprised that most of you all are taking a part implementing and monitoring controls designed by the board of directors. Let's clear this understanding. Some of you will have selected A. Risni has selected the answer D, which is the proper answer. Determining who will be risk owners. On a day-to-day basis, who will manage the risks. So they will decide that. Rest of the things are incorrect statements. Board of directors will make senior management guide to design and implement and arrange for monitoring controls. Board of directors will be an advisory role, but they will supervise. So they will never do designing of controls. So this is it. Implementing monitoring controls, because this is not designed by board. Senior management will design. Board will give certain guidance. So ensuring that external auditors oversee risk management and control processes. No, this is not done by external auditors. Evaluating the controls over the reliability and integrity of financial and operational information. So that will come at a later stage. Primarily, they need to determine who owns the risk in the business functions. So let's move forward with the next question. If you have any questions or if you want to challenge, please discuss with me. Right. Question is very clear. Of the following correctly classifies the corporate governance functions as internal or external. Now, what you see is the specific question engine that you will be facing when you're going for the online exam. So, which factor is internal? Which factor is external? You need to carefully look at corporate charter. Is it an internal one? I think it's correct. Bylaws are not external, those are in the organization. Laws are not in the organization. Board of directors, yes, they belong to the internal organization, therefore both options are incorrect. Internal audit function, yes, they are inside. Corporate charter, it's not external. So then the proper answer is bylaws are internal. Government regulations are external to the organization. If somebody selected the answer D, that is the answer. This time we got 2 people to answer. Achini, are you okay with the answer explanation that I gave? So the proper answer should be D. My friend Risni, are you also okay? Your answer is correct in this case. Achini, are you okay? Can I move forward to the next question? Right. You can speak up if you are in a position to speak. Question number 7. Ensuring effective organizational performance management and accountability is most directly the proper function of what? Very easy question. I have got the correct answer from one of your team. Remember, this is one of those definitions about the governance. If you go back to your notes and presentations, it is about the governance. Team, did I did the presentation with all of you? Somewhere in last September or somewhere? Team, by any chance? Did I did the corporate governance presentation? Come on. Have I met your team?
Yes, did.
Okay, so
Yes, yes.
so if you have carefully studied those slides, it just could be a difficult things, right? Okay. Question number 8. Which of the following should be stated in an organization's code of conduct? Tricky question, because 1, 2, 3 is given. You have to select the appropriate choices. Which of the following should be stated in an organization's code of conduct? Organizational values and objectives, the behavior, expected behavior, the strategies for maintaining a culture inconsistent with legal, ethical, and societal responsibilities. Twist of words can be seen here. So therefore, don't get caught. Carefully read. I will help you all with one word, underlining one word. You all can decide the correct answer looking at this word. Inconsistent. Whether the third statement is correct or not. So with that, I think you all will be able to answer. One person has answered saying answer A. So according to Pinsara, A, the statement 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 is, because of this particular highlighted point, 3 is incorrect. Pinsara, will your answer be different if I put this word, change this word into consistent?
Then will be D.
Yeah, then it should be correct, I think.
No? Right. Thank you for that response, because that is how you need to interpret certain questions. So that's another model, because you will see it as very familiar, right? But it is not the case. So carefully read certain words. I'm highlighting this because this is your practice, right? Okay, I'll move forward. Question 9 is about internal auditors' activity to build up ethical culture. So ethical culture has certain negative elements and positive elements. So those are the ones who are qualifiers for organizational trust, ethical leadership, benevolent orientation, empathy, efficacy, and speaking out. So those are the qualities that the ethical culture will bring in. Negative problems. So you can see you have all the saints here. From the sky here, come from the bottom, from the bad guys. Organizational unfairness, abusive managerial behavior, selfish orientation, lack of awareness, fear of retaliation. So role of internal audit activity in the ethical culture of an organization is to, as the A, avoid active support of the ethical culture because of possible loss of independence, evaluate the effectiveness of organization's formal code of conduct, assume accountability for the effectiveness of the governance process, become the chief ethics officer. Again, I need to mention, audit role will not take the accountability of the processes in the organization. No governance process. You will evaluate, that's a different case. Answer B is the proper answer. Evaluate the effectiveness of the organization's formal code of conduct, adherence, and other stuff. My friend Punsara, you also came to see, but the correct answer, what Risni gave, it is B.
Yeah, understand, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a doubt or if you want to further argue, I will share this presentation, don't worry, right? So this presentation will be made available to you in addition to the, I think, question list will be given to you all. Am I correct? My understanding is question list will be given to all of you. Is it the way? Team? 40 to 30 questions will be given to you. So once this presentation is shared with all of you, you all can make use of it. So next question is from the system. Which of the following correctly classifies governance functions as internal or external? Internal audit function, yes, it's an internal function. Senior management is internal, agreed. Privacy laws should fall into the external. Corporate charter, yes. Government regulation, internal. I think now we all got the answer. Proper answer is answer A. So see, corporate charter is not external, so it's wrong. External auditors are external. Ethical culture is not external. Are you clear? I don't see anyone is answering this question. Team, can I move forward to the question number 11? Question number 11 is about internal audit role in a less structured governance process. Less structured. You have room to play. Various people can do some flexible arrangements. It's a designing specific governance processes, playing a consulting role in optimizing governance practices and structure, providing advice about basic risks to the organization, evaluating the effectiveness of specific governance processes. Team, waiting for all of your answers. I can spend 1 minute. Make use of these. Tricky question. Risni, you're also still selecting this answer D. Would you like to change your answer?
This is the basic requirement as internal auditor to evaluate as per the policy, governance things are adhering to. That's the minimum.
I'm giving you a question, underline it. Less structured governance process.
Because it says, in a matured the governance, the auditor
Yeah,
is
yeah.
trying
Question is specific.
less governance.
So that is where you will go wrong. I know that why you are selecting this. So this is the proper answer appropriate for this scenario. Okay. So you will be a risk advisor as well. Okay, that is where you will play. Of course, it doesn't undermine this primary duty. This is the primary duty. Okay. Are we clear? The question is specific. Are we clear or are we having doubts?
Is clear.
Yeah, because this kind of questions you will see now. This is a very raw question. We call these type of questions in USA learning patterns. These are mock questions now, model questions or raw questions or root questions. You have all the room in these questions to improve by giving some frills. So you can, instead of using the word less structured, the examiner on your question will mention a company which has startup and entrepreneurs are joining. It's a recently startup company, so therefore it's not matured in their processes. Little loose structures are there. Kind of a wordings will be there. Do you get what I'm trying to tell you, my friend? Those who went wrong, right? Not that your answer in an ideal environment, it is the answer. Are we clear? Because you will not see this question per se in the exam. Your question will be much more frilled. You will have 2-3 sentences sometimes. So that is the whole idea why we practice. That is why I'm going at a little slow speed to give you all the benefit of that understanding. This question can be muzzled up, expanded, dressed. Are we clear with that understanding? So here you are having a plain vanilla question. Clear? Can I move forward? Can I move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Right. It's about the ethics, right? So doing the right thing when even no one is looking. That is called integrity. Which of the following is a situation in which an internal auditor's role of chief ethics officer conflicts with the independence attribute of the internal audit activity? Very interesting one. In some organizations, when they are not that much mature, you will expect internal auditor to play certain level of a role of chief ethics officer. Okay. Team, can I get the answer? If ethics officer requests that the internal auditors assess whether the organization as a whole is not complying with the organization's code of conduct, chief ethics officer informs the board of recommendations. The board recommendations made by the internal audit activity regarding the organization's compliance with the code of conduct. If ethics officer proposes and implements a new whistleblower program for the organization, the internal audit activity informs the chief ethics officer that the organization is in compliance with all laws and regulations. Very easy one. Okay, I have answer C and D. Out of that, somebody else. Okay, Krishni, you mentioned C. Would you like to justify why your answer is C before I announce the proper answer?
I selected the answer because as an internal auditor, you cannot implement. You cannot take a part of the business role. Because implementation, something is a business role. So if you implement something, you cannot find a mistake on it. You can't be a part of implementation of any business role.
The key point actually took you to the correct answer, right? So if you are playing the ethics role, right? So you cannot implement. However, these conflicts come from implementing a whistleblower program in the organization will be channeled through a dedicated business line activity, and you will be able to monitor it and you will get the feeds of the whistleblower program. So proper answer is C. The internal and external auditors report directly to an audit committee composed of independent directors. This practice is directly related to which of the governance principles? Very clear. Is it effective use of internal and external auditors? Effective interaction among the board, management, and assurance providers? An organizational structure that supports accomplishing strategic objectives? An organizational structure used to measure organizational and individual performance. What is the proper answer? Take a minute. Take a minute. Give a good answer. So as of now, we have A as the answer. And somebody is saying B is the answer. Nice cartoon is also there, right? I don't want to change. I want all of you to change. So boardroom dialogue. One director is trying to push the other directors to change. Okay, so there are two answers given by two. The proper answer is this one. In order to get the effective use of internal and external auditors, you need to have your reportings segregated. So that is why it becomes correct. And effective interaction among the board, management, and assurance providers will be established when you have a committee who are composition of independent directors who can question the executive directors and others. So answer 3, organizational structure that supports strategic objectives. Now here we are not looking at any strategic objectives, we are looking at governance objectives. So this is not an appropriate answer. An organizational structure used to measure organizational and individual performance. So that is also not the appropriate answer. This little crosses mean those are not the appropriate answer in this context. Any questions to clarify, my friends here? Basically, this time you went wrong. Are you clear with what I mentioned?
Yeah, that I'm a little bit confused with the first one with the external auditors. Term.
There are some fundamentals I will again plant in your mind, like that word implementation responsibility is not the auditors, right? The accountability is not on the any business processes with the auditors. I think you have picked up the specifics. Now here the case is this. When you have a committee, it can be a board subcommittee also. There are different models now. Board will be on the top. They will appoint a board subcommittee to look after the audit function. So audit function, the chief audit executive will be reporting for audit function to this committee. Otherwise, for organizational operations and all, you have a chief executive officer. You will have to report for operational stuff. Obtaining salary, obtaining vehicles, obtaining your human resource capital. Okay, so this reporting is there, this reporting is there. So when you have independent directors, they can always question the CEO's decision, including CEO's decision to support auditors with. Sometimes some CEOs will give lesser priority for audit function. No resource allocation, no seating allocation, no transportation allocation. New things will not be released, right? So that can be questioned when you have independent directors. Are we clear? Can I move forward, my friends? Okay. Governance should help ensure that the objectives of an entity's stakeholders are met. Stakeholders include what? Employees, regulators, suppliers, customers. This is an easy question. Grade 9 student will answer. That is for sure. I want all of you to answer. I know there are some people who are just carriers here or don't want to give any answer. I will not want to mention. I want only 2 people have answered. I want all of you to answer this question. Easy question. Out of this 40 questions, this is the most easiest one. 3 people have answered. I'm waiting for the answer. Others can type it. If you can't speak. Team easy question. I don't want to waste all of your time. Only 3 have answered. That shows the level of your interest. Because this is a class, right? So even you put a negative answer, I will ask what was the thinking behind it and correct it. If you don't answer, it's your will. Right, I can see only 3 people have answered here. Others don't want to answer? Or you want to think again? Okay, I think the people who have answered, given the correct answer, all of these will falls into the correct stakeholder category. Directors, management, external auditors and internal auditors all play important roles in creating proper control processes. Senior management is primarily responsible for what? Is it establishing and maintaining an organizational culture, reviewing the reliability and integrity of financial and operational information, ensuring that external and internal auditors oversee the administration of systems of risk management and control processes. So by reading certain lines, you can immediately eliminate some answers. Implementing and monitoring control designed by the board of directors. primary responsibility. So, primary responsibilities A. Primary responsibilities answer A, establishing and maintaining an organizational culture. Okay, proper answer has come now. Answer A. Right. Someone has mentioned here, I think it is Pinter, reviewing the reliability and integrity of financial and operational information.
That is the auditor's role, no? Sorry, I understand now.
So the question has a did you notice this word? Okay. Right. So reviewing will be auditor's function. Ensuring the reviewing will be audit function, ensuring the reliability and integrity of financial and operational information. If the question asks to ensure, confirm, right? The absolute words are for management. Remember, right? These are tricky words. Words play a huge role. Right. Let's move forward. I think I can conclude almost all the questions, but can we stop for a second and look at another video? I have some number of videos lined up. Give me a second until I prepare it for all of you to see. I have another video from GRI itself. Right. So let's see what this. All of you learned about GRI, am I correct? When we studied this governance related area, we learned about GRI.
Whether it's mitigating the effects of climate.
Right. Can you see the screen? Can someone confirm? that you all can see the sound from
Can
here.
see it. Yeah.
Sound.
Giving everyone access to clean water or ensuring that no child is forced to go to work.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes, we can hear.
Right.
Mitigating the effects of climate change, giving everyone access to clean water or ensuring that no child is forced to go to work instead of going to school. There's so much more we need to do to create a sustainable global economy. At GRI, we believe companies and other organizations have a critical role to play in addressing these problems. That's why, in the late 1990s, we pioneered sustainability reporting. Sustainability reporting is an organization's practice of publicly disclosing its broader economic, environmental, and social impacts. The GRI Sustainability Reporting Standards are the first global standards for sustainability reporting. They feature disclosures on a wide range of topics, such as energy use, diversity in the workplace, anti-corruption, and human rights, to name only a few. As a result, any organization can use the GRI standards to increase transparency with all of their stakeholders. This is the first step in transforming our global economy into one that's sustainable and inclusive. Reporting with the GRI standards can help you protect the environment and improve society while thriving economically. What's more, sustainability reporting can create a range of benefits for your organization, helping you improve stakeholder relations, enhance your reputation, and build trust. At GRI, we also offer engagement opportunities that can enhance those benefits. We support organizations throughout their reporting journeys. We set up training programs that explain how to establish a sustainability reporting process, and we offer services that help ensure reports are aligned with the GRI standards. Organizations can also join the GRI Gold community and connect with peers to develop solutions to shared challenges. And GRI also works with governments to promote smart sustainability policies and regulations around the world. For example, you can use GRI standards to show your contributions to the UN Sustainable Development Goals and to fulfill your reporting requirements under the EU Directive on Non-Financial Reporting. We also offer guidance on the alignment between GRI standards and other reporting efforts and international norms. So when you choose to use GRI standards, you're joining a global effort to contribute to sustainable development. At GRI, we're working towards a future where all organizations use transparency to transform our world into one where we create wealth for everyone while preserving the resources that drive our economies.
So without bombarding you with a lot of videos, I thought of sharing selected videos which will give you some good knowledge on good practices. Now, here was the institute that we looked at when we want to understand about the reporting. So, right. So another 2-minute video is there. Just look at it. We should be able to engage some of the practices internationally happening. If you recall what I was discussing at the CSR and sustainability, it is about the carbon footprint. How much carbon is that any process will create in the organizational operations? So that is what the top firms are now trying to minimize. Let's look at the rest of it. critical statement. So it has been discovered that audit firms offering CSR assurance plus financial audits obtain more information about CSR risks than firms providing financial audits only. So it's a valuable point to note. Because no point I'm leaving you with some questions and answers. This is what the world is heading for. There are number of videos, but focus on few that I'm going to share with you. It's only 2-3 minute stuff, so you're not wasting your time by looking at this. Okay, what is the completing time of this game today? Until what time that I need to go? Team, you should be aware up to what point that we go. 8:30?
Yes, until 8:30.
Okay, so 45 minutes are there, so we should maximize it, right? Can I get the answer given the statements which are not correct? So I'll read out the statements. Which of the following statements regarding corporate governance is not correct? Corporate control mechanisms include internal and external mechanisms. The compensation scheme for management is part of the corporate control mechanisms. The dilution of shareholders' wealth resulting from employee stock options or employee stock bonuses is an accounting issue rather than a corporate governance issue. The internal audit of a company has more responsibility than the board for the corporate governance, board for the company's corporate governance. Easy question. I think I have planted certain words. You should be easily identifying the what is not correct. Answers have come. Super. Question, why do you think the answer is A? Can you justify why you are
Because
selecting?
yeah, because the external things this is only applicable for the internals. That's why corporate
You are looking
governance.
for. So it's only internal, is it?
Because the corporate control should be applicable for the internal. That's why I mean.
I think you are missing something. So I think you have forgotten this. And I have given all of you a clue. Responsibility. So is this correct? You tell me, Rashan. You can tell me. The last line is correct.
Yes.
So it is not a correct statement. So what the answer is expecting you to find? Not correct statement. Are you clear now? Should be D, yes. So not correct statement is this one. So don't be carried away. You made mistakes here is okay, fine. We can discuss. I can guide you all. Are you all clear on this question number 16? Can I move forward? Prashant, are you okay? Can I move?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Right, thank you. Which of the following statements about organizational governance is true? The internal auditor has more responsibility than the board for organizational governance. Governance functions are internal but not external. Now, you all can answer this question. Compensation management is a governance process. Dilution of shareholders' wealth from stock options or bonuses is a governance issue. Easy one. Then it's twisted now. It's true. Carefully answer. So we have answer C. Answer C is the correct answer. He can manage. That is why the HR subcommittee of board is there. Human Resource and Compensation Management Committee. They are non-executive independent director sits who decide on the compensation packages for the executive. So remember that, right? So true statement is this. Rest of the statements are incorrect. My friend Risni, are you with us? You get
I just confused with the
you will get confused with both questions look similar. First one asking what is not correct. Now this one asking what is true, and they have twisted the pattern of the answers. You got it? So you will forget the origins of this question. Compensation management is the responsibility of board HR committee, which has independent non-executive directors. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your background? Are you from financial industry qualified person, or are you?
I'm from finance. I'm from finance.
So these are the financial backbones which you need to remember. Let's move forward. Which of the following is a function of the internal audit activity in organizational governance? Easy question. Very easy one. Easy question. Okay, I'll mention the answer because it's monitoring compliance with the code of conduct during your audits. Okay, so let's move forward. Right, code of conduct was developed several years ago, several years ago, and distributed by a large financial institution to all its officers and employees. All very important. What is the internal auditor's best approach to providing the board with the highest level of comfort about the code of conduct? So what you can do, you can fully evaluate the comprehensiveness of the code and compliance with it and report results to the board. It's a mere absolute assurance rather than a reasonable assurance. Fully evaluate organizational practices for compliance with the code and report to the board. Review employee activities for compliance with the provisions of the code and report to the board. Also, you can perform some tests on various employee transactions to detect potential violations of the code of conduct. Which test and reporting is the highest level of assurance? I'll put the question in such a way. Highest level of assurance. Checking the comprehensiveness of the code. When you are checking the comprehensiveness of any document, it can be a policy, it can be a standard, it can be a standard operational instructions. You are checking the comprehensiveness in terms of completeness and industry standards and low regulatory areas. So you are sure what is being used as a document is of the best quality. And then you are checking compliance with it by the staff, adherence by the staff, and report the results to the board. If you look at the second option, fully evaluate organizational practices. You are checking only the practices. You don't check the comprehensiveness of the code that has been established several years ago. So rest of the checkings and the verification mechanisms by Intel audit are not giving assurance like answer. Any questions here? I can see one person has selected and given the answer A, but by the time I gave my answer, I hope it is much more clear. Please watch these questions, or at least watch the PowerPoints when this comes to your hand. Are you clear with this question and answer A, why it is the answer? Because it starts with the full evaluation of the code, the document itself. Other options are simply looking at what they practice and some selected areas of transactions. Are we clear here? Can I move to the next question? Question number 20. Dead silence now. All of you are there? Tim, I'm on the question number 20. In an assurance engagement, if you have any questions, ask, or can we go ahead with this question? Question? Listening? You all can talk. I'm sorry to say, I need certain responses. Can we do this question? Is it all good to do the questions?
Yeah, the one question in the previous question. Now
Yes,
the
I'll
auditors.
I'll go back. Okay.
Yeah, now here the fully evaluation now as an internal auditor, we cannot give away the full assurance of anything.
That's why I said the near complete. I didn't mention the fully. You're trying to fully evaluate, but you will not evaluate everything fully. So the most appropriate answer, because it's asking the highest level of comfort. Do your other answers B, C, or D? Do they look at the code? Tell me. Now here you will not be able to practically do it, and you are not supposed to do. You will give only reasonable assurance. That I agree. But if you are from a comfort perspective, highest level comfort perspective, which one is the best? Tricky words. Words are playing games. Don't worry, don't get disheartened. Are you agree with me or not agree? Because you need to cultivate certain thinking patterns to go to the exam. I can imagine your main worry is this word fully. Am I correct?
Yeah, once it's a fully, because you cannot give a full assurance of anything as internal auditor.
I agree. But
it's little bit, yeah.
But the level of highest assurance comes from which answer? What is expectation?
Yes, it's correct. It's a little bit misleading.
So that is how they twist it, because these people are Americans, huh? So they will mislead you with a lot of twisting of certain jargon. Clear?
Yes.
Right. So argue with me, yeah, because some of you are in office. I can understand you all can't speak, then at least type. Huh? Right. Question number 20. In an assurance engagement, what is the internal auditor's responsibility for evaluating ethics-related activities? Now we'll look at some responsibility. What is it? Answer A, evaluate their design, implementation, and effectiveness. Evaluate only the design of ethics-related activities. Review employee activities for compliance with the provisions of the code. Perform tests on various employee transactions. Now the previous question is twisted in another way. Team, what is your answer? Okay, it's very clear. Any auditor will first evaluate the design. Second, in any process, any activities, the implementation. Third one, whether it is operating properly through transactions or activities. So these are the three areas any auditor's responsibility to carry out an assurance engagement. Forget about what is here. So I'll cut this term. So this is a generic term applicable for any. If you don't agree with me, tell me. So this perform test on various employee is a sample check which will support you for effectiveness, operational effectiveness. Design and implementation will help you to understand how it has been designed in any process. And coming back to the fundamentals of internal audit. Internal auditor will look at the process or any other activities that are happening in the organization from a first design perspective. Whether the design is as per the laws, as per the standards, as per the industry best practices, as per the expectations of the board, in line with the policies and other statements. They will look at what has been implemented and also effectiveness through transactions. So fundamentals won't change because of the question. Can I move forward? Some of you have selected C. C will also falls into effectiveness. Can I move forward? You all are not responding. Okay, anyway, I'll move forward. What are the major components of governance? Is it strategic direction, oversight, regulation, ethics? So you have a full picture of a board of directors here, right? You can enjoy. So CSR committees, the audit committees, the nomination and compensation committees, the corporate management committees, these are decision-making committees, security holders relationship committee, independent directors committee. So these are some of the committees any organization can practice. Major components are what? Strategic directions and oversight. Now, these are behavioral elements that you need to engage. Because if you give the strategic direction, by default, you will be asking them to be regulatory compliant and ethical. Okay. Strategic direction includes the regulation compliance, ethical behavior both. Oversight is where you get as the directors whether the things as per the regulations, as per the ethics, and as per the strategic direction set at the top being followed. So therefore, only the answer A is correct. If anyone has given different answer, I hope my explanation is adequate. Nalin, are we clear? Can I move forward? Want to argue? Want to dispute or discuss differently? I'll move forward. What are the elements of the oversight component of? Now we are picking the oversight component of governance. Got it? Right. Oversight is done by basically obtaining someone else who has been deployed by the audit committee. So, who has been deployed? External assurance, getting engaged, external auditor or somebody else comes and looks at you, maybe stock exchange comes and look at your processes, central bank comes and look at your processes, or external party specifically looking at a particular area. So those are the oversight components, internal auditing and external assurance. So answer B is the appropriate answer. I don't see anyone is attempting this question, but that is the explanation. I'll move forward if you. Okay, question number 23. Which of the following is a purpose of governance practices? Enhancing the interest of specific stakeholders only in the short term, satisfying ethical principles but not society's expectations, delegating organizational oversight to the internal audit activity, reporting fully and truthfully to the public. But you all select. This triple bottom line and all those things came because of that. Very good. I think answer reporting fully and truthfully to the public. Very good. I think I am getting the answers properly now. The thinkings are aligned, right? So you can see a particular diagram mentioned here. Supervisory boards are appointed, board of managements are appointed to those factors. There are particular terminology. Optimistic is very good, but only optimistic is the question here. So Simon Sinek, one of the top class business fellow, a good talker, and I would call it a person who will have motivation speeches, entrepreneurial skills development per professional. So he has mentioned optimism is the ability to focus on where we are going, not where we are coming from. So look at the future. What is the future? Very optimistic, positively looking at. So let's look at the question again. A corporation's results met the expectations of the market. But many people in the organization noticed that they were overly optimistic. Moreover, no one suggested that the results be changed. Who, whether officially or informally, should have been an ethics advocate regarding the results. Senior management, internal auditors, employees in the accounting department. What is the best answer? Select the best answer. Don't select any other answer. Because when you are looking at ethics, it's not one team's responsibility. It's not only senior management responsibility. If you are an ethical employee, you should have raised it. Internal auditors should have raised it. Senior management should have raised it. So all three parties are responsible for ethics. If your profits have come from different perspective of operations which doesn't fall under ethics, if you're following unethical practices in business and accounting, there is a problem. So whoever in the organization, everybody is responsible. That is why the question is asking who, officially or informally, should have been an ethics advocate regarding the results. When the results are overly optimistic, so they are very happily enjoying the results when there is a flop inside. Right. Question number 25. Which of the following is most likely an internal audit activities function in a less structured governance process? I think this looks like a repeating question for me. Give me a second to look at it, but you all can answer it again. It's a repeating of question. Again, I would remember. I would remind all of you, it's a less structure. So therefore, certain governance roles can be played. Again, it's a less structured. So the primary duty is evaluating. This is the given recommended, adequate, or basically best suited answer. Right? It's not the C. This comes after this.
Yeah, it cannot be optimized.
Sorry?
Yeah, the C can't be because it's optimizing.
Correct. Agreed. I think now all of you are matured, and I can give some homework also, looking at the timings. Right, okay. I'll go quickly with the questions. I will not go into detail of a lot of things. Question 26 is about board. I think I mentioned this, saying there is a subcommittee of board audit committee, which the reporting takes place. Right. So this can be CEO, CFO, COO. They can report to board of directors, whereas the chief audit head can report to BSc. Right. Which of the following is a situation in which an internal auditor's role conflicts with the independence attribute of the internal audit activity? Let's look at what are these. Internal audit activity recommends a whistleblower program for the organization. Internal audit activity informs the board that it has implemented an organization-wide employee ethics program. Board requests that the internal auditors assess whether the organization is complying with the code of conduct. CEO informs the board of recommendations made by the internal audit activity regarding the organization's compliance with the code of conduct. Only one person has answered as of now. Again, go back to the fundamentals. I think I have the proper answer now. Okay. Rajni, your answer is B. Am I correct? Internal audit implementing. Therefore, you are saying it's a role conflict. Am I correct? Krishna, are you with me? Krishna, are you with me? Okay, that is the case. The correct answer is B for this question.
Yes.
Right. Let's move forward. Others, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. Careful Corporation always has its internal auditors review transactions. Between Careful Corporation and its subsidiary Risky Corporation, to ensure that the transactions are carried out in a fair and transparent manner. This practice is most closely related to which of the following governance principles? A, oversight of the related party transactions and conflicts of interest. There are boards appointing subcommittees for this. Effective interaction among the board, management, and assurance providers. An organizational structure that supports accomplishing strategic objectives. An organizational structure used to measure organizational and individual performance. What is the most appropriate answer? You're looking at a related party transaction. So it's obvious that you can immediately select. These related party transactions are also need to be looked at by board appointed committee. And it will look at any conflict of interest happens. So proper committee is this. Again, requirement in certain industries, banking, finance, and insurance industries, you need to have a committee established for related party transaction monitoring. Sometimes it is looked at by the integrated risk management committees or board audit committees, depending on the sector, or board risk and audit committee. Some organizations belong to certain industries where you don't have a dedicated risk committees, so you can appoint certain committees. Any questions on this question? I'll move forward. If you have any questions, put it to the chat box. Which of the following is consistent with the governance principle? What is good? What is consistent? So key to consistency. Let's look at it. Members of the audit committee are executives of the entity. Is it okay? It is not okay. Internal audit activities, organizationally independent. Let's park it for the time being. Entity engages in undisclosed related party transactions. Problem? Entity does related party transactions won't disclose, which creates a problem. A senior executive who can influence accounting policies receives stock options if earning targets are met. Now we have a number of problems. Inconsistency with the governance principle. I'll give you 1 minute for answers to come in. You are supposed to find something which is consistent. So you need to have audit activity independency. This is the only point which is consistent. Remember the wordings. So this question can be twisted by adding the word inconsistent. So I think I got 2-3 people answer. Okay, all got answer. Super. I'm happy that all of you are now matured to give the proper answer. Right. Question number 29. Which of the following statements regarding oversight as a component of governance is false? Risk management activities are performed by senior risk management and risk owners. Oversight includes internal and external assurance activities. Supposed to find a false statement. This is correct. This is correct. Oversight is the governance component which internal auditing is most concerned. Oversight determines the overall objective. C is also acceptable one. Oversight does not determine the overall objectives. So that's how you need to answer the question 29. Which we have the correct answer is D. Sometimes you may realize the answer, fourth answer is always the correct answer. Let's see. Strategic direction includes, out of these 4 components, what? So I'll tell you all, if you go back to your literature, you will find organizational risk appetite. So based on the risk appetite, only organizational decisions are made and strategic directions are set. So answer is that. So with that, I conclude my target 20 questions. But since we have about another 5-6 minutes, let's cover the rest of the questions as soon as possible. Here I will tell you all the answer and the reason. I will not wait for all of you to answer, right? Following, which of the following are duties of risk committees? Is it whether identifying risk, connecting risks to risk management processes, delegating risks to risk owners, considering whether tolerance levels delegated to risk owners are consistent with the organization's risk appetite? You have 4 statements. You might feel all are correct. Right? Am I correct? Yes, your feeling is correct. All of these are correct. Now, as I mentioned, this is a STEM question. Carefully study what can be changed and how the question can be twisted. Very famous question. I think this question can be studied in various mechanisms. For you all will go nuts. So all 4 are accepted duties of risk committees. Answer D is the answer. Now you need to crush your brain, twist your brain, and find out means of challenging this question. Can I leave you with this question? Because you all are the ones who are going to dissect what are the duties of risk committees in your questions. Right. Question number 32. Which of the following statements about organizational culture is false? Remember, here we are looking for false statements. The organization culture sets the values, objectives, and strategies of the organization. Seems quite acceptable. Governance does not largely depend on organizational culture for effectiveness. Let's park it because I doubt it. Organizational culture defines roles and behaviors. You need to agree with me. The organizational culture influences compliance with corporate social responsibilities. Fully agree. So then you have this as a question. So it has a word does not. So which is incorrect. So this is the incorrect statement and this is the correct answer for this question. Okay. If you have any questions, ask because of the time. I'm going to go pretty quickly. Which of the following most likely should be stated in an entity's vision statement? What is your vision? I leave this to you all. What is vision? So you should have a vision, most appropriate one, the strategy for maintaining a culture consistent with legal responsibilities. You should abide by the laws of the country, laws of the place that you operate. Right. Answer to that question is given. Which of the following is considered a potential stakeholder of an entity? Ordinary level question. Potential stakeholder. Can I get the answer from all of you? Easy question. Easy one. Super. All answers are correct. So that is the answer. So I can see all of you got it correct. Okay, question number 35. This I leave it for all of you to answer. I have not given even answer here. Right. Question number 36. Small mini case scenario. This is the type of questions most likely you will get majority. Attentive indicates it has three managers, Albert, Bradley, and Chris. Albert is in charge of the accounting department. His duties involve the daily audit and producing the financial year-end statements. Bradley is in charge of production. His duties involve ensuring that production stays on schedule and waste is minimized. Chris is in charge of support staff. His duties include ensuring that workplace remains calm. What are you expected to do? This practice is almost closely related to which of the following governance principles? Question is very clear. Answer I'm going to declare now because I feel I should not waste your time on the answer. I can see somebody has answered. Okay, someone says answer B. No one else is attempting. Now, if you carefully read these statements, what do you see? A clear, enforced line of responsibility and accountability. That is what is expected in governance principle. You need to look at the case facts, my friend. Listen, good that you went wrong. I'm actually happy that you went wrong is good. Because otherwise, it will create you overconfidence.
Yes.
Am I correct? Because, I think you are getting certain things correct properly. Majority of your answers were correct. But here you made a mistake. That's perfectly okay. Because otherwise, you will overconfident and you will miss the specific points.
Right.
Now go back and study what went wrong. Others, are we okay to proceed further? There are 4 more questions. You all spend another five minutes to give you all the answer. Is that okay? Okay,
Okay.
I'll do the needful. I'll do the needful by declaring the answer. If you have any questions, come. Right? List A applies to all organizational activities. Thus, its processes provide overall direction for list B. List C activities are a key element of risk management. This is a type of a question that might appear in your screens. So your proper answer to this question is answer A. Others are not the appropriate answer. So you all think, as I helped you all last times also, so let's move forward. In the governance structure, risk owners are the people who carry out what and responsible for day-to-day operations. So if you have different debate, call me through. I will share my number. If you want to clarify anything, just ask. Board as defined by IIA. So this is a question to recall your memory. It's Board is a group of team who will do what? It is not an ordinarily is a supervisory group appointed by senior manager. This is wrong. Performs day-to-day governance functions? No. Establishes reporting for risk managers? No. They may be called the head of the organization. Look at carefully the definition, why the others are not appropriate. Final question, again about ethics. What I'll do is I will not give you all the answer for this. Okay. So my phone number I will mention here. If you have any questions, you can directly ask me. You can find I'll give you my phone number. You can search your note, whatever notes, and ask for any support. So that's my phone number. If you want to find my phone number, you have to look at it again, look at the video again, right? So with that note, I will conclude all questions. If you don't have any subject matter questions with regard to this, I hope all of you have enjoyed the session. That was my intention, showing some pictures and other stuff and some videos. I want all of you to enjoy the learning. I hope you all have enjoyed the session. If you all have enjoyed the session, if you want to ask any questions, reach to me. My number is again, I will mention, 071-401-6398. Okay. So I'm available. If you put a WhatsApp text, I can help you all, but I prefer if you have any questions, anything, they would come back to me. This presentation will be made available to all of you through the academy. Okay. Good night to all of you. Please reach out to me if you have any clarifications. Otherwise, you all can give a feedback to the academy also. Because you all are going to continue your rest of the studies as well, right? Mr. Ashen and I work very closely. So I would like to meet you all for another day in a possible area that you all are interested in. But keep on watching some of those movies, video clips that I will share with you all, right? So with that note, I will conclude the session.
Thank you very much.